Mountaineer Bachendri Pal entered the history books in 1984 by becoming the first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest. And she's eager to continue with her journey to the peaks in a bid to inspire more women to take up adventure sports. At 29,028 feet high, Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak in the world, situated in the central Himalayas on the border of Tibet and Nepal. Numerous attempts to climb Everest were made from 1921. Members of an expedition including Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay first scaled it in 1953. In dispute is whether the English explorer George Mallory, whose body was discovered below Everest Peak in 1999, had actually reached the peak earlier in 1924 and was descending it when he died. As a girl, Bachendri Pal dreamed of travel and adventure and was inspired by Junko Tabei, the Japanese mountain climber who became the first woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest in 1975. Scaling Everest has become the ultimate challenge, exemplifying ideas of success and achievement. In the last 50 years, more than 75 women have climbed the world's highest peak. Briton Alison Hargreaves made history as the first woman and only the second person ever to reach the summit of Mount Everest without porters, climbing partners, or supplementary oxygen. Then tragedy struck in 1995, when Hargreaves' conquering of Pakistan's fearsome K2 ended in her death during the descent from the summit. In the early 80s, Bachendri Pal applied to the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, where she was tagged Everest Material. In 1984, she finally made it to the Everest 84 expedition. After an avalanche that very nearly killed her and her climbing group at camp, she managed to reach the summit via the standard southeast ridge, becoming the first Indian woman on Everest. In 2007, an 11-member all-women team, led by Bachendri Pal, undertook an expedition across the Thar Desert to Rann of Kutch, across Rajasthan.
बिल्कुल इनका पास्ट में भी काफ़ी एडवेंचर जर्नी इन्होंने किया है और सब लोग उनको फॉलो किया एंड धीरे-धीरे
All the women have undertaken adventure journeys in the past. Here, we got trained in camel riding. We really worked hard on that. It was a tremendous learning experience, and we know we'll face a lot of problems such as sandstorms, dehydration, scorpions, and snakes, but we are prepared.
So we are mentally prepared. Mentally, we are very, very strong.
And mental toughness is what Bachendri Pal is all about. Leading 11 women across the Thar Desert as part of the Indian women's first Thar Desert expedition was a first for other reasons as well. It was the maiden expedition covering 2,000 kilometers over the Great Indian Desert by any male or female team.
The women will visit different villages in the border areas and interact with villagers. It will definitely foster feelings of harmony in the border areas. The village women would also gain confidence when they speak to these participants.
Bachendri Pal has led an Indo-Nepalese Everest expedition team comprising of only women, creating 7 world records and setting benchmarks for Indian mountaineering. This inspiring adventurer hopes her accomplishments will let the women of India come forward like her and take up mountaineering, saying it will help them to discover themselves.